Hey everybody, Small Town Underground here, and I'd like for you to check out libertylaughs.net. This is a website that supports grassroots patriots, and it has all kinds of stuff in it, like rings, coins, t-shirts, tank tops, both in men's and women's sizes, different sort of accessories, even patriotic stuff, like look at these sneakers, Don't Tread on Me sneakers, those are pretty cool. And door knockers, and look, they even have a Trump phone case, which is really, really cool. So anytime you go to this site, you're actually supporting the grassroots patriot community. So I hope you guys will go to check out libertylaughs.net and see what they have to offer.
All of us coming back. I cannot accept this fade to black, and the thought of the wasted dreams of a nation down on its knees. Is it already over? Tickets to the circus show. If you don't, then you'll never know. Take a stand while you have the time. Drown your fear and keep hope alive. Be the change that you want to see. Be the wrench inside the machine. Is it already over? Is it already over? I don't think it's over.
Good evening, everybody out there. Welcome to Small Town Underground. It is Wednesday night. It is July the 16th, 2025. Welcome again to Small Town Underground. And this is our regular show, 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. It always helps if you help me share this out, whether you're on X, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on Facebook. You share the show out to groups and other like-minded people so we can grow the channel here. You can donate to the show by going to givesendgo.com/smalltownunderground. That is the only donation link that we have here. And tonight we have a special guest back with us. Wonderful dude. Just one of the staunchest patriotic people I've ever met, and I've known him for years. And he's been the same minister of truth since the day that I met him. So we want to welcome him back to the show, Derrick Grayson. How are you tonight?
I am doing all right, Mr. Hamburg. Just one little correction. Ain't nothing special about me. I'm just doing what I do,
Yeah.
Ain't nothing special.
I don't know about that, man. I tell you, again, I tell this story all the time, but everybody kept telling me, you got to hear Derrick Grayson. And I'm like, who is this Derrick Grayson? You got to hear him. You got to hear him. And when I did, the first time I heard you, I was like, holy moly, blew my socks off. And I've been following you ever since. And we've done a lot of things together, and even got some stuff on the Cliff's Edge rolling. And you're deciding that you're gonna step in on 2028 and show Warnock who is boss. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so I want to make it very clear, Warnock. So I want to make it going to be running in 2028 against the dreaded Raphael Warnock, and we are going to run Warnock out of that seat, and we're going to get a true patriot in there who cares very much about the people of Georgia and getting the mess cleaned up. So get to know Derrick, guys. So anyway, welcome to the show tonight. I got chats pulled up. One more thing before we actually start. So I finally got all my chats worked out, and I can see everything popping up on the screen, which is great. But I was brought to my attention that people were sending some super chats that I couldn't see on my end. So I'm going to be skimming the chats tonight when we get down to it, make sure that I don't miss it, because it's very important. If somebody's going to send me a super chat that's got money, I want to make sure and get that out there. So it's amazing that people are even doing that. You definitely don't have to. But wow, I was blown away when I found out that somebody was sending like a super chat and I didn't even know about it. So it's my fault. We're gonna try to fix that soon. So Derrick, welcome again. We want to make you a household name. Obviously, we've got issues all over the state. We're in this crazy alternate dimension, and with Trump and the way things are going. So we want to get your perspective. So I'm going to let you start wherever you want tonight.
All right. I'll finish it off with the conversation that we were having earlier. I want to bring a few things to the forefront. We all remember let me not say we all. Some of us remember when Bill Clinton was in office. One of the most damnable things that he did was the crime bill, which segregation Jim Crow Joe wrote and got passed, that he signed. And if you don't know who segregation Jimmy Crow Joe is, that's Joe Biden. Okay. Clinton signed that bill thinking it would help, like he did with the reform bill for welfare, which did help. You could no longer get more money for more babies. You had to get a job for certain things if you wanted to continue to receive welfare. That was a good thing, and everybody loved it. But most blacks didn't like that crime bill. Why am I bringing up Clinton? I saw a clip of him the other day. I shared it on Facebook, Mr. Hambrick, and I said, or he said, he was talking about Bibi Netanyahu. And he brought to the forefront, Bibi Netanyahu wants war. He has been there for 2 decades. He wants to stay in office forever. And the only way for him to do that is through war.
Perpetual war.
That's what he does. Then I shared another clip from Mandy Patinkin. Some of you may remember a movie that came out called Alien Nation. It was a pretty good movie. You remember that one?
I do, yes.
Okay. Mandy Patinkin was extremely emotional, talking about what Bibi was doing to women and children in the Gaza Strip. And I know everybody say, well, they bombed them. If a man messes with me, I'm going to go mess with the man. I'm not going to kill his family. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not built like that. And so I understood where Mandy Patinkin was coming from. And yes, 1948, Israel does have a right to exist.
Right.
It was formed out of the Balfour Declaration. Okay. Part of European imperialism. Okay. I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. That was 1948. That was before my time. I made a video, and I'm not going to get into what all I talked about. If people want to watch it, the title is Trump, Israel is not that Israel. To make a long story short, the 1948 Israel that most of these Christians, out of ignorance, make the statement, I stand with Israel, not because Israel is an ally, but because of a scripture taken out of context. Those that bless Israel, I will bless them. This ain't that Israel. That Israel lost that land due to their own spiritual adultery. And God will take things away from you. And I don't know why people don't understand that. And when he talks about the prophecy about bringing Israel back together, he's talking about those that accept Christ and come into that spiritual fold, both the Israelites, you know, we don't know where the other 10 tribes are, and Gentiles. So that's a different ball game. So stop thinking that the secular nation of Israel, the one formed in 1948 because of a deal, and you know what, Roy? It was a deal made that betrayed the Arabs. You want to know what that deal was? The Arabs go to Great Britain, help us get rid of the Ottomans. And the Ottomans had ruled that land for 400 years. Okay? And help us get rid of the Ottoman Empire. So World War I, they defeated the Ottoman Empire. The Arabs thought that, okay, we'll be an ally, and, you know, you won't mess with us, we won't mess with you, we'll just be allies, and we'll keep it going. But the betrayal was sticking 1948 Israel right in the midst of it, which started all this mess that we see continuing to happen today. Right. That's just a little background. And anybody can go and look that information up. So I wanted to point that out. You got Clinton basically saying what Trump did when Trump dropped the F-bomb. They've been fighting so long, neither side knows what the F they're doing. You remember that clip?
I do. I do. And
okay.
He's right.
Yes, 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 yes. So all of these little pieces fit into a puzzle, you know, to make the bigger picture. Now, we might not see all of the picture, and this thing with Epstein, which I'll get to in a minute, somebody said, none of this is making sense. I say, it doesn't add up. I say it adds up. You just don't know all of the numbers, okay, to get to that end result. Right. So that's the part that you're missing. Then Obama, last week, I shared that video. We are not going to win, and we'll continue to lose if y'all, speaking to the liberal Democrats, keep electing these people to the far right. I'm sorry, the far left. I'm paraphrasing. But he was talking about the squad and that knucklehead up there in New York City that won the
that
primary in that mayoral race.
Yeah, which is insane, but
hey, but they voted for it.
Right. That's 100% exactly. People were saying, "Oh, you've got look." The people are the people in that area are the ones voting for this degenerate culture of people. You know, you can't do anything about that except for change the culture of the people. You know.
Roy, your picture is frozen on my end. I don't know if your users are seeing that same thing, but I just want you to know it's been like that for a couple of minutes. I didn't want to just keep going in case it's something you might need to make an adjustment on.
So far, everything's good.
On your end? Okay, good.
Yeah, so I might be frozen. I don't know why. I know why. It's this camera. I can fix that while we go on, and I'll fix that in just a second. But
Yeah, no
yeah,
worries. It's not bothering me. I hear your voice just fine.
so you
Uh,
brought up the Israel. You know, a lot of, especially people like me, are so confused. You know, everything you bring up about that, of course, obviously, to even talk about it at this moment in time means that, you know, you're anti-Semitic. I don't know. It is absolutely insane what we're seeing. We know that Netanyahu has been talking for more than 2 decades now about Iran and weapons of these mass destruction and all these things. The perpetual wars. You know, Netanyahu actually got put out for a little while, and then he got back in.
mhm. Yep.
It sound, you know, you have a lot of logic and common sense with this. You know, it seems like this is a never ending battle with Israel and the protected race and when it comes to religion. But we, you know, how do we get past this? How is it that it's so sacred and protected speech that you even talk about this to try to make sense of it? I don't
Well,
understand that.
most people don't know how to talk about it. You don't hear me using the term Jews when I'm talking about this
Right, right,
because 1948 Israel, even though it was set up for the Jews and it, for your listening audience, Europe or Great Britain offered the Jews the land of Uganda first.
right.
And I shared a video from the guy that was the president back then. I do not recall his name,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, in that thick.
You're talking about the recording, right? About how they set it up.
Uh, well, this is a guy being interviewed
Okay.
who was once president, and he was saying uh, Great Britain offered the Jews Uganda,
That's correct. I did
and
see that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and he said, "We thank God that they turned it down, and they turned it down because they said we had no ties to that land." Now, understand, Jews and Arabs coexisted peacefully
Mm-hmm.
under the Ottoman Empire. There
Right.
was no issue. And the only thing the Arabs wanted was to get from under the thumb of the Ottomans. They did not know that they would later come in and establish 1948 Israel.
Right.
So, but getting back to my point, the gentleman said they turned it down because they had no ties to our land. And he said, we thank God because if they had accepted, we would not have been able to stop them.
I got you.
That's European imperialism. And people don't understand the colonists that came over here and the expansion westward and so forth and so on. That was European imperialism. People don't want to understand it. King Leopold.
Right.
Okay. So there's a lot of history, but people don't want to get it. So when you talk about 1948 Israel, don't make it about a Jew thing because it's not.
Right. Right. I think you're 100% on that, but it gets misconstrued on purpose, I believe. You know, it's like a control tactic. So you can use that to your advantage, like you would use race or any other thing to control the speech of people and control the narrative.
Well, yeah, a few people have tried to call me a racist, and I said, any Jew that has accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior is my brother in Christ.
Right.
How can I help them if I'm a true Christian? Because Christ says, he commands that we love one another.
Right.
So you barking up the wrong tree. But I also tell people now, if there's any Jew out there that is still waiting on Christ to come, from a Christian perspective, New Testament believers, you're going to hell just like any other atheist or just like any Gentile that don't want to have nothing to do with religion at all, or just like any other Satanist, because the word says no man cometh unto the Father except he come through me. Now that's the Christian belief. So while these Christians are all hell bent over I stand with Israel because they think it's got something to do with the misconstrued scripture, I don't know. I'm sure I have no idea. But if they are not followers of Christ, what you mad about? And like I
Right.
said, 1948 Israel is a secular state.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure.
So there are many people here in America that say that America is a Christian nation. You know, they claim that. You know, the Republican Party is always talking about God in Christ. So, you know, we're not denying it or walking away from it. But, you know, over there, even though we do it here, we know that there is a side of, there are groups or there are people, especially Christians, that are not into all of the alphabet soup stuff,
Right.
you know, the parades and whatnot. But that's what they do over there. They celebrate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they all deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the Old Testament and the Talmud, that's a
Right.
no-no.
Big time. Yeah. The Talmud, that's a rabbit hole you go down into that,
So
is like,
I'm not even gonna get into it because the Talmud, they
no,
can't stand Jesus Christ. They
no, they
basically
certainly
call him
can.
a heretic.
They
So
cannot.
we won't get into that. So that was me talking about what Clinton said
Right.
about Bibi Netanyahu and what Obama said about the left picking all of these people to the far left. And they won't win if they continue to do that.
That's right.
Okay. And understand, whether people realize it or not, Obama, Bush, Clinton, for the most part, were left of center, but almost centrist.
Mm-hmm.
They said the things that the majority of people wanted to hear and trusted in. Because I voted for Obama in his first term. You want to know why? I had been making videos, because that's how I started my YouTube channel, talking about issues within the Black community.
Sure.
Fatherless homes, out of wedlock births, Black on Black crime. And when I heard Obama talk about, if somebody says to a man, you need to take care of your children, don't get upset about it because it's the truth. You know, he talked about those things.
He did.
And he warned me that first term with that vote. But 18 months into his presidency, his policies were the exact same as Bush.
Oh yeah. He was an eloquent speaker. He spoke,
Yeah.
even if you didn't like him. Of course, I didn't vote for Obama either time. In fact, I voted for, I believe I wrote in Ron Paul during, who was it? Was it Cheney? No, it wasn't Cheney. McCain. Well, it was McCain and the other guy. Let's see. I might have voted for McCain, but no, I think it was the other way around.
That was second term.
Second term, I think I
With
voted
Mitt
for
Romney.
Right. I know I put in Ron Paul for one of those, but Obama, at the very least, when he was speaking or doing a State of the Union, you listened. He was a very eloquent speaker, and it didn't matter if you agreed or not. You did want to hear what he had to say, you know? That's something nobody can deny, especially after going through 4 years of the child sniffer over here. But continue.
Yeah.
But yeah, what he was saying didn't match up with what he was doing, of course.
Of course not. He followed the same policies, continuing wars, continuing spending.
And yeah, he was also the person that did away with the and it's slipping my mind now, to the where the news media could no longer had to use sources. Gosh, we were just talking about that the other day. It's the Smith-Nunn Act or whatever. That was done under Obama. We saw a lot of these socialist programs brought in under Obama, right when we didn't even know what they were. But
Yeah, USA,
Yes.
Abe was an Obama baby as
That's
well.
right.
But you know, it was just as bad under his predecessor Bush. We got the
Yes.
fine.
The Patriot
Thanks
Act.
be to Edward Snowden, we found out about all of that stuff. You know, the FISA court, all of that stuff came under Bush, and of course Trump. You know, he worked that FISA court big time. That's how he was able to spy on Trump. Did I say Trump? I meant
Yeah,
Obama.
Obama.
Obama. He worked that FISA court. That's how he was able to spy on Obama.
The Trump
So
campaign,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Goodness, I'm
No, you're
reversing their
good.
names. Let me get it together here. Okay, so to get into this other thing before I talk about Epstein,
Right.
I've been posting about it regularly for the last week or so, I guess. And somebody made the statement that they were complaining. And I told them, why don't you go on and continue to labor in your love of TDSism, okay? And I'm going to continue to enjoy the things that I have won, things that you won't admit that you're benefiting from. Case in point, the border is secure. So fewer criminal, or no criminal illegal aliens are coming into the country. No illegal aliens are coming across that border at all because we have secured the border. Deportations. Fewer people we got to contend with committing rapes, robberies, and murders. There, I'm not even going to get into the other things that Trump has done. If people keep up, they know. But the one big beautiful bill, I now get to deduct another $6,000 on top of my itemized deductions.
Right.
Okay, because I'm a senior. I'm 65. I get that now, and my taxes didn't go up because the 2017
Right.
tax
The tax cuts. They got
reform
added. Mm-hmm.
was made permanent.
Right.
I don't have to worry about my tax dollars going to illegals on Medicaid. Because if you're illegal, you ain't got no business being on. Medicare, same thing, eliminating the waste. So there were a number of things that came out of the one, and I know everybody's griping about the spending. If you earn tips and your income is not that high, you get to deduct $25,000 in tips. So in other words, if you earn $25,000 that year, hopefully you're making more money than that. But if you earn $25,000 that year and you got kids, you get to deduct your entire income. You're gonna get a check back.
Right.
And you know, most people get money back from the government.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be getting even more money back from the government. So, and then it covers overtime. The people are griping, yeah, but it's temporary. Well, so was the 2017 tax break.
Right.
Let Trump get through the rest of this term, and maybe somewhere when the next budget bill comes up, these things will be made permanent. Because you know what? Let's give the people that hate Trump a chance to see how they benefited
Right.
from the one big beautiful bill.
Well, I don't disagree with you at all. And when you brought up Epstein, so here, I'm not going to lie. I'm still reeling a little bit from today. I was on War Room with Antonio, and he read the tweet aloud, and he thought that I'd already seen it, right? And I'd been at work today, So as he's reading it, my blood pressure is rising. It's Donald Trump doing what Trump does best, telling people basically, just to piss off. If you can't get over this, I don't want you, My point about the Epstein case, and I'm like anybody else. I'm not truly involved in this whole social media debacle where you're pitting each other up against, right? But it seems like they keep shooting themselves in the foot with it over and over and over again. The way that they rolled this thing out, I understand it was a campaign promise. Obviously, I don't think that Trump has in mind he's going to protect these child, people, for lack of a better word. You know what I'm saying? But again, every single day, it's like you keep getting insulted further and further down the line, and I'm like, that's not the best tactic to me. Now, I understand that there's probably some situations there that we don't know about, just like you're saying. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because no matter what, if somebody wants to challenge you by you challenging something that Trump's done, good, bad, or whatever, that's ridiculous, all right? Trump is just a man, and he deserves criticism like anybody else, and that's the way that we make sure the check and balance is there, okay? But this whole thing, this whole premise of forgetting about this it's not going to happen, But again, maybe there's some bigger picture we're not seeing. You tell me, what do you think about this? Is there a bigger picture that a lot of us are missing?
Yeah, there's a bigger picture.
Okay.
So understand, I am a humongous consumer of information. Okay. I read, I vet, somebody posts something, I go see if I can find it someplace else. And I put all of this stuff in my mind. Somebody asked me, why you don't go around quoting chapter and verse? I say, I don't do that. I read the story, get an understanding of the story, and I don't need to memorize different verses. I think the only verse I probably, Psalms 31 and John 3:16, that's about it. But I understand the concepts because I put all the pieces together and see how they fit. What do we know about Trump? You just brought up one point. Trump is human like everybody else, right? So the man gonna make mistakes. You remember his first term, all those rhinos that he endorsed helped them to get elected that stabbed him in the back? You remember that?
I remember.
Now, yeah, we knew they were rhinos before he endorsed them, but he endorsed them anyway. He learned because every last one of them stabbed him in the back. So Trump makes mistakes. That's true. But what else do we know about Trump? Trump wins like nobody business.
It's true.
Okay? Being that he wins like nobody's business, the man has gone through a lot. And let me just lay some on down. The man had 2 federal prosecutions that I can call off the top of my head now, Bragg and James. He had Fonnie Willis, a state prosecution. He was impeached twice, and they attempted to impeach him a third time, but that failed because, he was already basically out of office. The man was convicted twice at the federal level. The man he was convicted civilly, got a humongous civil fine. Mar-a-Lago was raided. 2 attempts on his life. And he still beat the odds because he knew how to handle himself and how to deal with the situation. So he has earned the benefit of the doubt from me. Okay? Now, Epstein ain't going away.
That's true.
And I want people to stay pissed off about it. I don't care what Trump said. And let me tell you something. See, when you know all these little pieces, you get to go, We got Tucker Carlson that's upset about it.
Thomas
And him
Massey.
and Trump's friends. Tucker called him his friend. You got Bill O'Reilly that's saying that Trump needs to put something in. And Bill O'Reilly talks about, I talk to Trump often and I ask him questions, et cetera, et cetera. You've got Candace Owens. She gets personal phone calls from Donald Trump.
General Flynn come out with a pretty strong message today too.
Yeah. You got Megyn Kelly, Janine Pirro. You just mentioned General Flynn. You got what's your boy?
Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's
Johnson,
on it. Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. All of these people that are MAGA. Now, do you think Trump is stupid? Of course not.
No.
Trump now has liberal Democrats screaming for the release of this information because they think Trump's name is in the file. They think Trump is on video doing something he ain't got no business doing. Now, in what universe, in what universe do you think Democrats or anybody would have done all of those things to Trump that I just enumerated and not release video of him doing something he ain't had no business doing to keep him out of office, especially when Segregation Jimmy was in the White House. He wasn't even running it. And those people hated Trump so much, they did any and everything that they could to undo all that Trump had done, tried to erase him completely. Every executive order he signed, they got rid of. And Joe Biden wasn't even running the office.
Yeah. And not to mention, too, it was said, if we didn't have Trump, we had the Democrats wouldn't have gave us the Epstein list anyway. We wouldn't even had a chance to get it. So, I'm trying to get this perspective in my head.
Let me finish. I'm gonna get you there. Democrats are now screaming for the information to be released. I believe, nobody has told me this, just my intuition. Because I know things that Trump has said before, because I listen. Well, I don't want to put the information out there. The media doesn't care about context, and I don't want to ruin anybody's lives. That means that there is some information. Right?
That's true. They're not denying it, that there's information. Right. They could have lied to us. They're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then he comes out last week and has Bundy to say, there is nothing. There never was. There is no list. Well, if there is no list, there is no names. Well, what names was Trump talking about? Where did he get those from? So when you put all of this together, you know that there was a list of something. You know that there are documents that have names on them. We know for a bona fide fact that Epstein was a pedophile and that he trafficked young girls to his friends and others. This is undeniable. Ghislaine Maxwell wouldn't be serving 20 years for just having sex with underage girls.
Right.
Okay? She was convicted for basically being a madam.
Yeah, and we know that the court dockets were sealed on that. We know that there's some stuff in there that we're not able to see.
Exactly. I believe, my intuition, in order for Trump to get the one big beautiful bill passed, he used that information. Now, I didn't say the word blackmail. I'm not going to go that far. Trump used that information because the one big beautiful bill, rhinos ordinarily wouldn't have voted for it. 2 men voted against it. Massey, Rand Paul, they ain't got nothing on them.
Yeah.
They voted their conscience.
Exactly.
And the spending wasn't cut enough. But Trump wasn't concerned about that because, one, he got the tariffs over on the other hand, and he got the benefits to not only Republicans, he's benefiting liberal Democrats as well. Bibi Netanyahu made a visit that same week before Trump said what he said, or had Bonnie say what she said, I believe Trump promised to not betray the people that voted to get the one big beautiful bill passed, because ordinarily it would have failed. Republicans would have quit like they did his first term, 45 plus Republicans, counting Trey Gowdy, lost the House, and they limited Trump to executive orders. This is a major piece of legislation that Trump got passed despite all of those things that I enumerated that they did to try and keep him out of office. Trump is saying outrageous things now because he wants to piss off his base. He wants us to be mad and talking about it. And he wants liberal Democrats demanding that that information be released. You want to know why? So that they can we either get another Snowden or Congress will get it done like with the measure that Massey is trying to do. That list is going to come out. That is my prediction. And then Trump will say, hey, fellas, I tried to protect you. I did everything I could, you know, and then they'll realize it'll be like the movie Scarface, where the old boss, please don't kill
Frank,
me. Please don't kill you.
I'm not going to kill
I'm not
you.
going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you. Turn his back.
He told Manny to shoot him.
Boy, whack that ML. You know what I mean? That's what Trump is telling us to do. Whack him.
Oh, man.
What's happening, man?
Look, it's certainly plausible at this time. And to hear it laid out like that, it makes me feel better. I still can't get over in my head how this thing is rolled out so sloppily. And God help us with Bongino and Patel and this whole thing. And I hope you're right. I really do.
Amen.
Because
that list is going to come out. Listen, Epstein got arrested the very first time where he got that sweetheart deal with Acosta.
2010, yeah.
Because of the efforts of Trump. There's a detective, an investigator, who went on record saying it was Trump that contacted us, which led to that initial arrest. But Trump wasn't a politician then, had no sway, and he had no control over the federal prosecutor, Acosta, that gave Epstein that deal. His second arrest, I believe Trump was behind bringing that back to light. Now, understand something. Epstein got arrested the second time under Trump's watch. Epstein was investigated under Trump's watch federally. Epstein was incarcerated under Trump's watch. Epstein got murdered under Trump's watch. What does that mean? Trump had access to all of the information. If this was a hoax, and Trump know he lied, Trump know the smart people gonna know that he lied because of all of these things that we know, all of these pieces of the puzzle that fit in this picture. He know we lie. He know we know he don't mean he don't want our support. He want us pissed off so that we bring that information out. Yeah. He gets to keep his word to the people that he promised he wouldn't betray. And we get the information that we want. And if it was a hoax, with all of the people that he talks to, Candace Taylor, Tucker, don't you think he would have told them over the telephone or in a conversation, hey, look, this stuff is just a hoax. There is no file. He has had plenty of time to shut down Bongino, to shut down Joe Rogan, to shut down Candace Owens, to shut down all of them that have been talking about the Epstein files, but he didn't say a word. He allowed them all to continue on the path that they were on. And Trump is taking a gamble, just like he did with the One Big Beautiful Bill, just like he's doing with the tariffs, just like he's doing when he asked Bongino, Bondi, and Cash Patel to do a 180. And I guarantee you that argument that they let get out to everybody about between Bongino and Bondi, guarantee it was staged. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Yeah. When you put you look at all what they call it, a preponderance of evidence. When you look at all of this, you know Trump is lying about there is no list.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. And boy, is it working, because I was pissed earlier today. I feel better now, but it's working.
I'm not mad. I'm going to wait. We've seen this song in church. I used to play it.
Well,
I'm going to wait till the end or to see what the end's going to be. I'm going to wait till the end to see what it's going to be, because I've invested 12 years into Trump.
Sure. I get that. It's like being mad at your dad. I'm mad at dad right now, but it's still your dad. I mean, good Lord. Yeah. That's what I want people to understand out there. This whole, it's a separate issue, the gaslighting over, oh, you can't do this about Trump, or you're turning your MAGA card, whatever the crap that is. It's so stupid. We're in the position we're in because we can't have an honest intellectual conversation about this stuff, man. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Don't pit me against somebody because we're questioning dad, for God's sakes. Ugh.
Good Lord. You know, this is 5D, man. I don't want to hear that 5D, 4D, 3D.
I don't either. I'm done with it.
This has all been strategic.
Trust the plan.
And ain't got nothing to do with no game. It's just Trump is not a stupid man. He didn't get to be where he is. He didn't survive. And know this, all of the things that they accused him of, he was not guilty of. Right. Those convictions are going to be overturned.
All right.
We just ain't got there yet.
Okay. Well, I certainly hope you're right. And there's been many, many times that I have listened to you and your what is it called, the talk that you do, ride, is it drive time? Yes, I've listened to a ton of them, and normally you're Johnny on the spot. So we're going to hope that that all of this pans out the way we need it to, especially to heal this divide and get justice. Because look, I go back to 2016 when he told Hillary Clinton, because you'd be in jail. You know, a lot of us that, like you're talking about, we've invested years into this Trump presidency. We stayed through thick and thin through 4 years of the child sniffer, and we got this golden chance, this divinative providence to get Trump back in, right? So we have been through thick and thin, but yet we're not seeing the accountability. And I know it's only been 6-7 months, but I think that's weighing heavily on people. When are we going to see? You know, you got this auto pen deal coming out. I'm skeptical whether anybody's going to be implicated in this auto pen.
They've been implicated already. The guy who, there's an email from one of his chief of staff. I think his name is Jeff or whatever.
Right.
I authorized the use of the auto pen for those commutations.
But again, will there be any accountability there? You know, I think that's what the base is really mad about. Where is the accountability? We live in Georgia, one of the most, well, to me, the most politically corrupt states in this union. We have zero accountability in this state, and why aren't we seeing accountability?
We will. See, we just got to this point.
Yes, I know.
Where we found somebody that was a fighter that will stick through it. Trump's first mistakes tried him by fire. That was being backstabbed by the rhinos, because Trump thought, Trump ran his own business. People had to do what he said because he was the boss. When he became president, Trump thought that it was going to operate the same way. well, I'm the president. These people are going to work with me.
Yeah.
But those people didn't want to work with Trump because Trump was overturning the money changers' tables. Trump went into office wealthy already. He didn't go there for a paycheck. He never accepted a paycheck. But most of these politicians that get elected, they go up there to personally enrich themselves.
Right.
That's the Democrats and the Republicans, or what I call rhinos.
Mm-hmm.
Trump didn't count on that, but
Right.
Trump learned a very valuable lesson, and we all suffered for that first mistake. How do we suffer? Segregation, Jimmy Crow Joe, for 4 years.
Right.
Okay? So
God have mercy.
we need pieces put in place
Yeah.
for the auto pen. You want to know what that's going to be? Joe Biden's the hearings on his mental acuity.
Right.
He was not what they call it, compos mentis. Okay, he was not mentally fit to be president. He should have had the 25th Amendment put on him
Oh yeah.
into his second year.
100%.
Okay, that did not happen. So the pieces got to be put in place first, and I believe that we will see the accountability that we seek. And I'm gonna tell you something. Trump has not turned me off yet.
Right.
I've been upset about some decisions. I was upset about bombing Iran.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't nothing but theater. You want to know why? Nobody got killed. No reported deaths. They were given advance notice. They moved whatever it was that they had. They got satellite images because you know Trump haters, in order to prove that Trump didn't destroy nothing, they came up, found the evidence showing trucks leaving those
Right.
3
14.
facilities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trump blew the hell of them, blew the hell out of them up, and no deaths.
And
That
thank
was
God,
staged.
thank God, no more escalation too. So
Yeah, Trump wants peace. And I heard it in his voice when he said they've been fighting so long, they don't know what the F they are doing. That was frustration
right.
in his voice. Do you understand that?
I do.
And he's mad with Putin. Hey, he wants to make a deal with Putin.
Right. Yeah, I've been studying up a little bit on this. You know, it's disturbing to hear about selling the weapons to NATO. It's like I said earlier today. It's like you and your brother getting a cookie out of the cookie jar, but instead of you taking it, your brother takes it and gives it to you. Maybe this is a show of force.
They're going to keep those weapons, Roy.
Yeah.
They're going to keep those weapons.
I hope so.
Okay.
But again, I mean, my point is maybe all of this is some more showing of strength to get Putin and Zelensky further along, because something's got to give over there. It is.
It is.
Okay.
Trump wants Putin to keep what he's taken so far. We don't want Russia up against the wall of our allies either. We want that buffer zone for Ukraine. That's what Trump is trying to get us to. None of that would have been bothered if it had not been for Obama and what was that woman named? Nuland.
Oh, Victoria Nuland. Yeah.
Yeah. Had it not been for them, we wouldn't even be here. And what Russia is doing is the same thing that Kennedy was prepared to do.
Yeah.
When Russia wanted to move missiles to Cuba.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a mess. But
the Monroe Doctrine. I don't know if you've read it.
I haven't read it, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, again, I'm thankful. I'm ever thankful that we have Trump there than we would have anybody else. God help us if Camel Toe was in there. Oh, good God.
Oh, man.
It would have been a disaster. So. All right, so we're going on getting close to an hour. So I want to kind of shift our focus a little bit, and we got a lot of comments we'll get to. So let's focus on Georgia a little bit. I want you to give us your overall, 50,000-foot view of this state, where we're at right now. I feel like we're in a major mess, especially with our Republican GOP. But furthermore, we got an election coming up that we have to get a nasty Democratic senator out and get voted in, a Republican, a conservative. Where are we at, and where do you think we're going with this?
So I don't know if people remember. So Georgia used to be 10 red congressional districts, 4 Democrat congressional districts. And in Georgia, they draw the lines based on where the parties think that they have the greatest strength, and they always stay that way. You don't mess with us, we won't mess with you. We won't run candidates in your area, you don't run candidates. And that's the way that it has been. I have, going back 12 years, every person that I had to learn it first, so let's say 10 years. Every person that I have seen go run against Hank Johnson in the 4th district, I said, you're not going to win. Even if every conservative or Republican went out and voted, 100% of them, you still wouldn't beat the Democrats, even if it was just 80% of them voted. Right. They got the numbers. Mm-hmm. You can't beat them. It is a heavily saturated Negro district, period. The other 3 were heavily saturated with white liberals and Negroes. I hope don't nobody get mad and say something stupid in your chat about why is he saying Negro.
Nope.
Negro is synonymous to black, and it's on my birth certificate. So get over it.
Perfectly fine. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we had that set up, but we lost the district. Now let me tell you who lost that district. Karen Handel ran for Secretary of State, and she won. Mm-hmm. Promised to fix the voting machines. Get rid of it. She didn't keep that promise. Then she lost Secretary of State. She ran for the 5th district. She won. Now understand something. This is the point I'm about to make. She lied to all of Georgians about the voting machines, but still got elected in the 5th district. Mm-hmm. Something's wrong with that picture. I'm sure you'll agree.
I do agree. Absolutely.
Okay. Georgia has only had 2. Well, let me give you the name. I'm not going to give a number. You can add them up. Jody Heiss had a better than 80% constitutional voting record. And for those that don't know, that's where you take the number of times you vote with the Constitution versus the number of times you vote against the Constitution, and you average it out to see what your voting record is. So that was Jody Heiss. Paul Brown was plus 90. He's no longer in. I forget what district he was in. Mm-hmm. And then the other guy, doggone it, what's his name? They used to always say he looked like he was black, but he wasn't black. I just can't call his name right now. It'll probably come to me before I finish. So we've had 3 decent representatives in the past. Now, this will surprise me. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like 99%. Yes. 99% CVR. Barr. Bill Barr, that was his name. No, that's his name was Barr, but I'm not talking about William Barr. Okay. But his last name was Barr. So what we have in Georgia are, with the exception of those that I mentioned, all of the other congressional Republicans are rhinos. Georgia used to be a decidedly red state. But we have, I hope people don't get mad with me. I'm just going to call it. We have a bunch of ignorant, and when I'm using the term ignorant, I'm talking about lack of knowledge, people who don't research. That's what I'm saying. You're ignorant of the truth about the people that you vote for. Ergo, Karen Handel, ergo, Barry Loudermilk, ergo, Buddy Carter. Buddy Carter has a 60% constitutional voting record.
Right.
40% of the time, he votes with Democrats or against the Constitution. And now he's running for Senate.
Exactly.
And people will vote for him. Georgians. So you want my overall opinion of Georgians? As long as it's an R, they don't give a damn about how they vote.
Right.
As long as it's got an R beside their name, and that's what's on their general ballot, that's who they're going to vote for. They aren't going to go out and do a primary to get rid of them, but that's who they're going to vote for in a general. It's got an R, I'm voting for that person. That's
Right.
why we're in the shape that we're in, and you saw it at the, I'm not going to say local, state level, but not from a congressional perspective, in Dalton, Georgia, with what went on there, man. But what we need now are pieces. Now, we just got one big piece. Grant Frost the fourth.
Right.
And the fifth. We saw Katie Frost in action in Dalton.
Yes.
Nominating committee. Okay, nominate who y'all pick, but don't trash the other candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Allow the people there to make up their own mind.
Well, see, that's the part where that's what I'm talking about. For example, you're going to run in 2028. There's absolutely zero secret that Derrick Grayson is going to run Raphael Warnock. It would be one of the best races ever in this state. It's about access. All these things you're talking about Buddy Carter and everybody lining up in this merry-go-round, the controllers of the state, i.e. Brian Kemp, all roads lead back, who has this monumental war chest, they're not going to allow the access for normal, conservative, constitutional patriots to even get on the ballot. We've got people like Reagan Box who's out there working her tail off and going to try to primary them. But here you have Buddy Carter. You look at the amount of money that these people loan to themselves in the upwards in the tens of millions of dollars. This state is controlled from the top down like a corporation, and they're not going to allow people to get into that ballot access.
So you can get on the ballot for $5,220.
Right.
Okay. So not a problem getting on the ballot. You just got to come up with $5,220.
I got you.
The problem is, I just saw an article come out. I think it was AJC. It's some Georgia rag. They were talking about the people that were going to run. Reagan Box's name was not mentioned.
It was not mentioned. It was an AJC article. It was talking about who all's in there and how much money they've raised and borrowed to each other. Yes.
Yeah.
Of
They
course
didn't
not.
mention her name.
No.
And because the average ignorant Georgia voter is not going to research all of the candidates for Georgia, because you can go to Google and who's running for Senate Georgia 2026. I'm sure Reagan Box's name will come up. Well, let me see what Reagan Box has got to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the radio broadcast, podcast, like what you're doing, that makes the difference. But by and large, the mainstream voter is only going to listen to Fox, read the AJC, or watch the AJC. They're not going, corporate media, they're the ones that are denying the access you speak of.
That's exactly my point, yes.
And most voters are too lazy. Yeah, get mad with me. Maybe that'll make you go and do some research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to your audience. Get mad with me. Show me that you know who's in the race. Show me that you have researched them. There's no way in hell below that you should be voting for Buddy Carter for Senate.
It's true. You mentioned his voting record. These people don't want to talk to any of us down the ground. We can't even talk about election integrity with these people. We go down to the Capitol. They laugh at us. They're not taking anything. I don't know if you know anything about the Blue Ribbon Election Board. I mean, a lot of people are saying it was just a joke. This is wild that we live in a state where I'm sure it's not the only one. But again, this is the business as usual. This is the clown show where everything is neatly and tightly knit together. And if you ain't in that club, you best just step on. I can't accept that.
Yeah, that's the way that they do it. That's the way that the game is played. And Georgia is in trouble.
Yes, it is.
Now we'll continue to get rhinos, because those districts, that's where you have. Now, we lost the 5th district. That's where Karen Handler was. But we lost that district because the demographics changed in that district. Mm-hmm. They got in a bunch of, minority voters. They got some Hispanics. They got some Asians, they got more blacks that moved into that district, and they overwhelmed the Republican voters. Now, mind you, there may have been some Republican voters that just wasn't happy about Karen Handel and didn't go out to vote for. I'm sure there was some that didn't go out there and vote and say, well, she's got an R beside her name. But let me point out another interesting little fact. You were talking about voter integrity. Now, Kemp won his race, the last election. Jim. Raffensperger won. And Herschel Walker's name was on the same ballot.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Now, if I'm the average I won't say the word ignorant again. If I'm the average Georgia voter, Republican, and I go there and I pick my Republican ballot, I got in my saying, keep Georgia red, I'm going to vote for R.
That's right.
Every person that voted for Kemp, Raffensperger, should have voted for Herschel Walker.
Exactly.
But Herschel Walker's total, his count total, was significantly less than those two, and I believe they were within the same range of each other. I have to go back and look up and see. That don't make sense. That don't add up. They did not want Herschel Walker.
Of course not. Which brings me to my point. Without election integrity in the state, in this one state where all the other states around us have had major election integrity fixed, we still have nothing. So how on earth do we expect to even get somebody like you or somebody even elected when we're seeing these kinds of vote totals and understanding that it's pretty much down ballot with an R, yet you could have all these votes skewed so differently? I mean, do they think we're just that ignorant? I don't believe so.
Yes, they do.
It's a mess.
They see that's the difference between them and Trump. Trump know we're not stupid. Trump know he's pissing people off with what he's saying. These people do what they do, and they expect us to just lay it. And only a few of us are upset. You are upset about it. I'm upset about it. I've been down to the Capitol. You've been down to the Capitol. Voter.org with Garland Favorito, Michael Opitz, Boyd Parks, and the Birch Society. There are tons of us that have gone down there. But the problem is excuse my language, the bastards that the Republicans continue to put in the state capitol to represent us. That's where the problem lies. This current speaker, I can't call his name. You saw what happened with the guy down there where they're going to tell him. Yeah. What was the guy's name that
You talking about
tried
our
to get in?
Senator Colton Moore, my
Yeah,
state senator.
Colton Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
a disaster. What a clown show that was. Good God.
That happened to him
Mm-hmm.
because of the people, that happened to him because of the people that Georgia voters put under the gold dome.
Right. Oh, I know. Yes. That's insane. And no accountability, no justice, not even a resolution that the state body passed, is going to be dealt with. No accountability there. They're laughing in our faces. It is a mess, Derrick. I just don't know. I don't know how we're going to get through this. We're disconnected more than ever because of this convention, and now the Frost family, very well, highly regarded family with a lot of money, and now they're running a $140 million Ponzi scheme. And on top of that, news is breaking today that these people just aren't willing to let go. They're being represented by the same people of the Georgia GOP, and they're literally starting up new LLCs. I'm racking my brains trying to figure this out, but it's like, all right, what is my incentive? And I'm just putting this out there, but what is my incentive given all of this, these calamities? Why should I even worry about voting in 2026? That's my question in my head. I don't want to say that.
But don't you quit.
Exactly, and I'm not, but I'm putting that out there because people are thinking about it. People are down. They've lost their faith, and they're like, why should we even participate in this any longer? You know?
Hey, man, Jesus said, "Oh, ye of little faith." Come on, man.
I'm not giving up. I'm just hypothetically.
Yeah, well, that can't happen.
It can't.
If you want to give it up, if you want to just give it to the Democrats, then just go ahead and give it to the Democrats.
No.
But you know, I know it's not you because you continue to do your show. But to anybody else, you want to quit, lay down, and die, go ahead. Just don't come crying to me because I'm not doing that. I'm going to continue to fight them. Now, I told Alex Johnson this. You got a whole slew of people that resign. You need help. Let us help you rebuild the GRA. Sure. This time, watch with the infiltration. Don't let a money bags come in to use it as his own or their own tool for getting the people that they want put in office.
That's
and
correct.
Let's go from there and let's fight the Georgia GOP also from the inside.
Yeah, I mean
that's the only way, because those people that we elect for the state GOP, like Josh McCoon, they are the ones that set the tone. Josh McCoon got to go. Period.
Well,
so,
I agree. I do.
Yeah, I committed to get back involved with my local DeKalb GOP because I took a break from them because they were always talking about, yeah, we want to do community outreach in the Black community, but that wasn't nothing but lip service to get people involved. That's all. Y'all ain't trying to do nothing. I haven't seen y'all out here in the 4th district yet. So that's how that was. But I've rested. Now I'm going back and I'm going to make some noise.
Well, that's a good, interesting point too. That we don't have a lot of community outreach. You brought up Asians, you brought up Blacks, minorities, Hispanic people. We have to not only like elevate the people that can go into those communities and bring people together, but there's a lot of good people in those communities that just need a little guidance. They need a little bit of waking up, and we need to do a better job as Republicans to do that. It seems to me like most of your establishment rhino types, the ones that are climbing the ladder, they only care about their small little clique. They don't give a crap about everything else. Everything, like you said, is lip service. But people down here, like people like me, I want to see growth. I want to see more people come to the table. You get better ideas. You get better culture, better everything. And then you strengthen the voter base. I mean, we have to make that a priority going into 26.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this question, and we're going to go to comments here in a minute. But you're going to run for 2028. Now we're laying it out right now. Everybody, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Derrick Grayson is there. This is our man against Raphael Warnock. I don't do endorsements, but I know that you're running in 2028, and you know that I'm supporting you. So, how are we going to convince this GOP and this state that Derrick Grayson's the man? I mean, have you thought about that? Because I think about that. Like, I know everybody should know this is Derrick Grayson's time to shine. They should just go ahead and get in line and get behind you. But how are we going to make that happen?
Well, people are going to have to judge me based on my actions, my involvement, my words. I mean, I've got a couple of thousand videos out there on YouTube. Right. I go different places, and I've started back, but I've been many places where I have spoken. I don't do stump speeches. You'll never hear me get up and talk. I'm a family man, and I've got X number of children. I don't do speeches like that. You ain't never heard me do one like that. No. I get up and I talk about, here are the problems, and this is the solution.
Right.
If you can't recognize the problem, my solution ain't going to mean anything to you. I have never talked about a candidate on a personal level. It is always been and will stay based on their performance. So if I'm running against you and you got a sorry record, I'm going to talk about it.
That's right.
Because I want the people to decide, do I want more of that, or do I want to do something different?
Right.
So, I've been singing 100% of the Constitution 100% of the time.
Right.
I've been singing that. And I don't want to go to D.C. to personally enrich myself.
Oh, no.
My salary will be enough. Mm-hmm. I want to go because it'll give me a bigger bullhorn to not just talk about it here in Georgia, but I want to expose rhinos everywhere.
That's right. We've got to. We've got to break this.
That is the only fix.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you right now, folks, look, and we're going to fix it to comments, but Derrick Grayson is a real deal, and the time starts now to start the Grayson Army, all right, because we do have a serious election. If you got to be the change you want to see, right? Yes, the systems. I say it's a clown world. It's rough, and it just almost makes you want to drive you mad. But I get revived when I hear Derrick Grayson speak and know the potential of what we can unleash. So I want everybody out there to understand that the time starts now to get behind people like Derrick Grayson, get behind the people that we know can bring the real change. So, Derrick, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
The easiest way to get in touch with me is go to Google, type in Derrick Grayson.
That's right.
You will find me. I'm all over Facebook. Everything is youtube.com/TMOT of Georgia, TMOT-OFGA. Facebook.com/TMOT OFGA. Twitter or x.com/TMOT OFGA.
Yeah.
OnTheCliffsEdge.com. You can find me.
Yes.
Okay?
And we'll continue. Yeah, we're going to continue to share his links here. We got a long way to go. We still got 26 to go through, so we're just building up momentum now. This is our time to shine. So let's go over to the comments, and we got a bunch tonight. So I'm going to try to go through them and get everything. We've got Christopher Rayleigh's here with us. Mark McDon, good to have you, sir. Christina Benjamin, good evening to you. Let's see, Antonio Jones, wonderful war room. Jonathan Garcia, good to see you, sir. He's been popping back up here lately. Good to see you around, Jonathan.
Hello, Jonathan. I know you.
Yes. What is it? What is his handle there? I can't remember. Red something, but yeah. The red honey badger. Yeah, that's it.
Honey badger. Yeah, that's right. Honey badger. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Was the lieutenant governor with
Mac McGregor. Yeah.
Matt McGregor, yes.
That's
yes.
it. Oh man, Anthony Smatterchew, good to see you. Thanks y'all for letting me know the video's clear. It was on the other end, not on our end, but God, we got to get Smatterchew on the show soon. We've been trying to plan that for a while. Lisa Adams, wonderful Whitfield County, Lisa Adams. Sharon Holland, love you. Thank you for watching. All right, we got Real Viking Dude in the house, and he says Ezekiel's 37th chapter hasn't happened yet. The two sticks coming together in his hand hasn't happened yet. Judah and Joseph, Judea and Israel, two sticks. This goes back to Genesis and Jacob's prophecy over his sons and two grandsons. You care to elaborate on that?
Well, the only two sticks I can think of is that of the Gentile and the Israelites coming together under Jesus Christ. I share an image that I put out there, complete with scriptures that explain that. The only thing that matters is whether or not you have accepted from a Christian perspective. Okay. The only thing that matters is, are you a child of Christ? Have you accepted him as your Lord and Savior? And that does not matter if you are a Gentile or a descendant of the Hebrew Israelites. It does not matter under Christ. There is neither male nor female. There is neither uh, Greek nor Jew, bond nor free. None of that matters. And that is the promise made to Abraham before they knew anything about Hebrews or Israelites, because it didn't exist at that point under Abraham. It was Abraham. But a promise was made to him. Through you, all nations shall be blessed.
Right. Absolutely. All right, David Naha, good to see you. Man, we got some good patriot people up here tonight. Good to see you, my friend. Christopher Rayleigh says the chat is censoring, so I'm actually looking at both, making sure, and you may be right. I can only see.
What is he trying to curse me out?
No, I don't know. It could be the chat censoring. So I'm real paranoid now about these super chat things. I'm trying to look, but he's posting from X, and I don't see him, but I don't know if I'm on the live. So if I miss a super chat or anything like that, I promise I'll go back and find it, and we'll do this because I got to keep a watch on that. Angela Rubino, one of our state committee chairs, wonderful woman. She says good evening, out of Floyd County. Real Viking Dude says, if you bless Israel or curse Israel, consider the idea and possibility you are blessing or cursing yourself. Because you may be Israel. It's a people, not a country, not yet. Because Judah and Joseph's sticks have not been united yet. So
I already said
right.
That Israel is not the Israel of antiquity. 1948 Israel is not the Israel of antiquity. That is a secular state.
Right. Got you. And Christopher Rayleigh says Israel decided to blow the S out of Syria, Gaza, and Iran.
Yes, they did. Netanyahu loves war.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I meant to mention that earlier.
Yes.
I forgot, but I read it earlier today.
Real Viking Dude says, hold on. So what do you do with the King David, Samuel, all the prophets? Did they go to hell? Of the 6,000 years of biblical history, 4,000 were pre-Yahshua. Everyone during that time went to hell, and there was a question mark.
No. If you were under the Old Testament law of Moses, you were covered. That was an entirely different covenant. We're under a new covenant. You got to understand something. Because of all of the corruption, disobedience of the Hebrew Israelites, because of all of that, God was silent for 400 years, 400 years, until Jesus Christ came on the scene and ushered in the new covenant. So I'm not concerned about those under the Old Testament covenant, because they were God's chosen people. He just said, I need you to do what I told you to do.
Right.
Started out with 10 commandments. And before Moses could even get him to the promised land, he had to give them 613 more laws, including the 10 commandments. I mean, the man went up on the mount to get the 10 commandments, came back down, and they were raising holy hell. They made themselves a calf and everything.
Right.
Moses was given a commandment, never strike the rock. He struck the rock. Moses didn't even get to go into the promised land. So don't tell me that God won't take things away from you, just like he took the land of Canaan that he had given to them.
Right.
And not one original person that was freed by Moses made it into the promised land, that original generation.
Right. You know, if you haven't met Real Viking Dude yet, I've got to get you guys hooked up. He's an amazing dude and very intellectual guy that I think you guys get along really, really well, man. So I'm going to hook you guys up. Noreen Canner's with us. She says, hey, Derrick, you have my full support. So
that's my girl.
That's right. She's still my hero after convention. I'm telling you.
She's my hero. She was thoroughly had impressed me beforehand. And Noreen, I apologize for saying that you dropped out, okay? Because I was looking to vote for you, so I'm sorry for saying that. She didn't drop
That's
out.
right.
Noreen just said, I'm not going to play the game.
That's right.
They're trying to play. And, she instead spoke her heart.
That's right.
Not that her speech wouldn't have been a heart, but she wanted to make sure she gave a message
She
to
did.
the corrupt process that was unfolding before our eyes. And I commend you for doing that. So
Yeah.
I just want to personally apologize
Yeah.
for putting out there what I had said. I was in error.
Well, we heard it loud and clear, and boy, did it get my blood pumping. So,
Yes, sir.
all right. Hardy Strongbear Taylor, good to see you tonight. Christopher Rayleigh says, Obama flooded us with Muslims from all over the world. Well, we've been flooded with everything.
Yes, we have. But I like to point out to people, Obama didn't do this by himself.
Right. No, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course
He
not.
had Bush, Clinton. He had two Bushes, Clinton, okay, to help him along the way.
Well, sure, and the deep state replacement migration plan. Let's not forget about Agenda 2030. It's a plan all along,
Bring them all in because they come from socialism, running from it, but in their mind, they have a few things twisted. America is a land of opportunity, and so socialism over here is going to be better.
Right.
Those that were lazy didn't want to do nothing to begin with, because people that actually want the land of opportunity, they come into the country legally. They get student visas, they get work visas, okay? They become naturalized, they start businesses. Look at all of the, there's a Asian-owned liquor store in every Negro neighborhood down here in Atlanta. So, they'll find a way to make some money, baby.
Right. Well, let's just be realistic. Nobody is against immigration. Nobody is against legal immigration. What we're dealing with here is not legal immigration. I can't stand these narratives, these gaslit narratives that they try to hide behind it. The words speak. Words do matter, and it's ridiculous. So Christopher also says 3,000 deported from Georgia already. So I've not even seen that number. So, obviously that's a good thing. We obviously need to fix this broken immigration system. He also says Trump 2028. Hey, again.
That's illegal.
Yeah, it would be illegal. It might be nice. It's only been 6-7 months. My mind is still in this
Don't want
parallel.
another FDR.
Of course.
Period.
But
run You do your thing,
and you get out.
train up your successor, and you get out.
Yes, and here's the thing, let's look back on this another 6 months and see where we're at, and God only knows, because it's in God's hands.
Yes.
Jamie Halsey's with us. He says, "Present." Thank you, Jamie. Jamie's he's a wonderful, wonderful person. Let's see. The GOP voted not to share. Yeah, that what he's talking about was this vote yesterday. I think it had us all a little bit confused, but the GOP on the committee voted against Marjorie Taylor Greene's resolution about Ukraine. They also voted against the Epstein list. But if you don't already know, at a little bit of further digging, the Democrats are actually using that Epstein list in order to put an amendment for a Genesis central banking digital currency onto the legislative table, which would have been very detrimental to what we're trying to do to not centralize our currency. So I'll be glad to share more of that. Things have happened so much in 24 hours. I hadn't even been able to share it, but I do have a post on it. So that was a quid pro quo. The Democrats were using that to try to get some really nefarious crap on there. So I did go back and update that. Said Maxwell is coming forward saying the FBI covered it up. I don't know what we're going to get from Maxwell, and that story changes every 24 hours too. So let's see. Let me come down a little bit here. Charles Stoker says, "Awesome patriot display of the truth." Well, thank you, Charles.
Stoker Ace.
Yes,
sir. Charles, you eating that brisket that I asked you to make for me?
Let's see. Noreen says, Trump is one smart man, is 10 steps ahead of everyone. I'm praying that this is the case. I am. Let's see. Let me come down just a little bit. All right. Jamie's got a question. Do you think Maxwell is being given a chance to testify and give up names?
Yes, she's offered to do just that.
Yeah. As far as I know, the GOP or the Congress has blocked that. Who knows what's going to happen, and then who knows what we're going to be able to trust from that. Again, this changes 24 hours. Would I love to see Ghislaine Maxwell testify, or at least come out? Sure, I would love to see it. I'd love to hear, have a hearing. But again, who knows? This thing gets twisted up every single day. So
this is not going to go away. You can count on that.
Yeah.
This will get resolved. Just be patient, people.
Yes.
Just be patient.
Yes. Let's see here. Let me go through. We've got so many comments here. Brandon's doctor pled the fifth like 50 times while being deposed. I believe what Christopher Rayleigh's talking about is, it was recently in the news that the doctor who was over Biden's mental capacity or whatever it is pled the fifth. Obviously, right? I mean, that's the worst thing about mainstream media is that they're writing books now about when when people realize Biden was a vegetable. Like, are you joking with me? I don't understand how these people even live on the same reality.
He pled the fifth because he does not want to incriminate himself.
Yeah.
And he didn't plead the fifth based on HIPAA.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with HIPAA.
Sure. This is a good one. Hank Christopher Rose says Hank thought Guam would flip over from too many people. Hank Johnson, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you've seen this, Derek, but I think it was Hank Johnson that it came out with a song about an Epstein song based on a country singer. I can't remember. I'll have to share the video with you, but it's pretty funny. I believe it was Hank Johnson, but I'm not sure. But yeah,
I live in his subdivision. We live in the same.
Do you?
Yes.
Man, I'll have to find that video.
I saw him taking a walk.
Really?
Yep.
Do you ever get to talk to him?
No, I don't want to talk to him.
You should. You should just go up and start schooling him. I remember he was the one that thought that the too much weight would flip the island over Guam.
Yeah, we were at an event together. I used to belong to a group of men. We did volunteer work, and we had an event, a ball, and he was invited. It was supposed to, I was actually running for Senate. And I was, plainly told by my fellow brothers, look, this ain't gonna be no campaigning. And Hank Johnson got up. He didn't campaign, but he talked about conservatives. He didn't mention me by name, but I knew he was referring to me. And I looked over at, the host. I said, why are you allowing this? But I didn't make a fuss about it. I just kept my mouth closed and enjoyed the rest of the event. But yeah, man, he's a piece of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time.
No, I don't. I see him. I don't. I don't blow my horn. No, I keep it moving.
Right. Mike Pons is with us tonight. He says he loves this man, Derrick Grayson.
So I love you too, Mike. And you supposed to be getting back with me, man. I appreciate the text, though.
Richard Schroeder, one of the great election security fighters who's at the Blue Ribbon. Thank you for sending that to me. I did watch it last night and posted it today. If you haven't seen it, you can go to my site and watch that Blue Ribbon, the public comments. He says the Georgia Mafia are playing musical chairs with our state's government's positions. And I agree 100%. And Christopher Rose says GOP won't send TMOT a penny. And that's, it's probably true. We have time to change that, right? We have time to change that. We have time to stand up and make these people be accountable, Let's see here. William Blake McMillan, good to see you tonight. Sprinkle the tree of liberty will be required. It could be. Let's see here. He says Buddy also doesn't believe the 2020 election was stolen here in Georgia. I've heard that. So
Buddy also was a never Trumper.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So.
But he supports Trump now.
Of course, they all do.
That's what he says.
Jamie Holsey says the biggest problem is the group name they. That's true. Everybody knows there's a they out there. We may not be able to know who all they are, but there's definitely a group called they. Noreen says Kemp had a plan, and it was all a step up for Dems to win. So when the race came again, he would to say, "Look what I did," when a Republican wins, and make him look good when he runs for president. This is my opinion. All roads lead back to Kemp, and they're a very powerful machine, and it's going to be hard to overcome. So, Geraldine Allen says hello. I'm going to come down a little bit. Yes,
my girl.
And Real Viking dude says, "Gotta vote, dude. Got always vote." Of course, I know it sounds a little defeatist, all right, and maybe I'm getting in my feels. I'm not saying I'm going to quit, obviously, but a lot of people. We got normies all around me that have no idea what we're talking about here, and no idea they're hooked into politics, and they're coming up about the Epstein list. They're coming up about all this, and I'm like, look, you just got to calm down. This is a game. We're playing it, but again, it's people are feeling like this. We're going to get over this, right? We're not ever going to quit. Lord, we stayed through and through with the child sniffer.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike says, I understand Roy be discouraged on voting. It's discouraging when you know that the system is rigged and that your people will not do anything to really fix it. I listened to a 19-minute podcast the other night. Somebody sent me a prominent, I guess, podcaster and somebody prominent in the state, and then somebody on, very prominent in the election integrity world. And throughout their 19 minutes, they never once mentioned Dominion voting systems and never once came up with a solution at all that they were working on. They merely just argued for breadcrumbs out of two different bills that they were working on, literal breadcrumbs, that if the bills had passed, it's like a piece of bread. Never once mentioned Dominion voting systems. I'm like, how do you have these discussions and you're not mentioning these things? So,
because they like the system the way it is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jamie says, fight, fight, fight. Of course we're going to fight, fight, fight. Let's see. William Blake says, Alex Johnson could have went to a mic and did not. Don't trust Alex Johnson. the jury's out on. Look, I support the GRA. I know you're a lifelong GRA member. There's been a lot of things that's happened. What I've experienced, I've been in it for a couple years, is that you sit back and you watch, and I've noticed quite a bit of sea change. And I don't think we should trust anybody, right? That's why I don't do endorsements. That's why I always question everything. But I think under Alex, I don't know, I want you to respond too. I think under Alex's leadership, I've seen positive steps in the right direction. Would you agree?
Yes, Alex is my friend, my personal friend. So he has my support and he has my trust. But I know a couple of people. Now I know a couple. I know another person, and then the guy that just spoke that don't trust him. So respectfully, that's not my cross to bear. I trust him, and until I see something different to lead me down a different path, I'm going to try and help him rebuild the GRA, because all of those people, I think the total number was 76 that bailed. That was a self-cleaning.
Disinfecting. Yeah, I agree. Yes. I feel the same way you do. I trust Alex Johnson as far as, hey, he's always been cordial with me. He's always been there. He's always answered questions. He's been on the show a few times. The GRA is going through, like you said, it's a disinfectant right now, right? So why they left? Yeah, what's it going to become?
Because of what happened with Kelly Frost. Mm-hmm. They left over Frost. Look what's happening with the Frost family right now.
Yes.
That ought to tell you something. Those are pieces of a puzzle. Put them together and see the picture.
Absolutely. Again, what is the GRA? What is the GRA objectively? It's a group of people that fight against establishment politics, and they uphold the principles of the party. Well, it's the body of the people that make that up, right? So it's the body of the people. The body's becoming disinfectant, right? If you're relieving yourself of a virus when you're sick, well, you come back stronger, and it's going to be up to the body of people to make that happen. So,
absolutely.
Okay. Mike Pond says, have faith. God is on our side, the side of truth. I do agree with that, and I that's my discernment prayer for all of this. Let's see here. Angel Rosario says, Angel Rosario is a good man and is willing to help on a community outreach. Yep, we're going to be doing some stuff together. So, Angel?
Yes. We met at least 3 times. We had dinner together. It was a group dinner. We had what did I just yes, we had dinner together up in up 75 North.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
that's right.
I've heard nothing but good things about him. He's actively out there in the community, and he's doing some good work. So
that's right. And we got Josie Cruz out there is doing great work.
Yeah, Josie Cruz.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'd like to go ahead.
I didn't know she was on that line online. I told her next time I knew you were in the room, I was going to mention Josie is going to be running again as well, and she needs your support. Josie understands socialism better than many because she actually lived under it.
That's right. Yeah, we've had her on the show. We're going to get her back on the show soon. I got to talk to her a lot during convention. It was awesome. Jamie Hull says, do not discount the local and regional governments in Georgia. Contribute greatly in state crap. Just look at Walker County, Northwest Georgia, and you will see self-serving elected officials firsthand. So a lot of truth to that. We've got a lot of layers between the state government all the way down to the county. And once you start getting through that matrix and seeing how it works, it's your eyes are wide open. So
All County is another one.
Yeah.
People are familiar with Hank Sullivan.
Yes.
Sullivan has been laying into him.
Yes.
With his articles, laying out how corrupt the county commission is, and he's calling them out by names, by deeds and acts.
Man, we've got some of the greatest fighters in Georgia. Hank Sullivan is among one of the top ones. He's got one of the best Substacks I've ever read. So
Yes.
Ray Blankenship, good to have Ray Blankenship with us tonight. He says, elitists are the problem. It's not an establishment thing or a grassroots thing. It's people who think that they are better than everyone else. Instead of fighting for our Republican platform together, we do everything in our power to find something else to fight about. The state convention showed me that the elitists have no respect for the grassroots people.
Absolutely not.
Well said, well said. All right. Noreen, Mike Dean Tiles, good to see you. Said Derrick Grayson is a good man. Love to hear him speak. So, all right, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah. All right. So, everybody, once again, thank y'all for hanging out with us, being here with us tonight. Thank you for all the wonderful comments. Again, Derrick Grayson, I'm going to give him the last word here. This will not be the last time you will see him on this show and others as we gear up to elevate the very people that we want to change this broken system. And this is Derrick. So I'm going to give you the last word, sir.
It won't be a speech. It'll be a simple thank you. And it has been my honor to be on your show, and a warm, heartfelt thank you to all of the people that listen, took time out of their day to listen and to comment. Thank you for the nice things that you said about me, those that you did, and towards my friend Roy. We fell in love when we first met out there on that field.
It's true.
So, you know, and you're the people that make the difference. So.
Well, we're in this together, and no, I am not giving up, and I'm going to vote. We're going to be here. We'll be here again next week, and we're going to keep plowing our way through this, guys. So we'll do it together, and we'll pick up more on the way. So everybody, good night. Y'all have a safe week and a great weekend. I'll see you back here on Wednesday night, and thanks again.
The legislature legalized unverifiable voting in 2000.
Like you said to Trump, but they're getting beauty.
They said, go out there and rob these houses and bring back the bounty, and then that'll pay your way.
Because Republicans who get endorsement from Georgia carry that they mean anything.
You can't sit on the sidelines any longer. You must get involved in the game. This is your sign.